Hello, everybody. Wednesday morning, June 4, as you can see on your screen. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the June 4. June 4, yeah. Good morning. At 5:59 a.m., my watch buzzed me with that nice little message. So we got, just so you can see, we had a little birthday in the middle there. There's Brennan. Oh, he was truly standing over their shoulders with Marilyn and Daniel on the right. Yep. We had a nice dinner at Luff's, East Palmetto Park Road on the south side. Luff's is owned by the same person that owns Trattoria Romano, a little further east on Palmetto Park Road on the north side of the street. Oh my God. I had fruits de mur at Trattoria Romano 5 years. It was the best I've ever had. I want to go back there. I want table number 7 though. That's right. As you walk in the door, make a left-hand turn, a couple of tables on the left side. I want one of those tables. Yeah. Table 6, 7, and 8, right in that zone right there, against the wall. There's a window there too. Yeah, Trattoria Romano. I've been thinking about going there for, ever since I left the place. Oh my God, it was so amazing. You really have to try it. Notice that picture right there. Notice right there on that shelf. There was a bag. Photobombed us. It's a little takeout bag. I got rid of the bag. A special little trick. There's no bag with the bag. Watch this. I'm gonna edit the picture. And there's a little button over here on the left side. On the very bottom it says clean up. It has like an eraser. I'm gonna touch that. And it says, okay, the little signal that came up on the bottom. Tap, brush, circle what you want to remove. Pinch or pan to zoom. So I'm going to do a little pinch-a-rooney. And I'm going to just outline this bag like that. Let go. It's magically gone. How cool is that? Now you see this chair over here on the very left, right by Marilyn's ear. It's like highlighted a little bit. All I have to do is touch it. Chair's gone. Here's a plant. I can't have that plant. So we're going to have to just roughly go around the edges of the tree, the plant, whatever. Oh, it didn't get rid of it. So we'll try it again, and maybe I have to paint it, fill it in. There's too much of that blue coming through it, so I guess I just have to highlight all of it like that. Bingo! Plant's gone. That's magical, isn't it? Yeah. So I can get rid of this glass if I want. Yep, glasses are gone. Oh, we have salt and pepper. Yep, get rid of that. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm going to go to adjustments here. Hit that and brighten it up just a little tiny bit. Come over here and add a little color. Little photo lesson there. This is all an operation of the iOS operating system on the iPad and on the iPhone. No special software, no extra expense. It's all part of the operating system. Save, yep. Yeah, we're done. With bag, with plant, with the 3 glasses. With the, I took out 2 of the glasses. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, and then you can, yeah. There I did. I took care of the bag and the plant. Here I took care of bag, plant, and the glasses. 2 of the glasses in front of this dish. Yeah, it's kind of amazing what you can do. Oh, there's Marilyn. She's all kitty heavy. Yeah. That's not a bad picture right there. Why didn't I pick that one? He's got, yeah, that could have been used. Let's do a little crop job on that because we got pictures of chairs over here we don't care about. And so we can make this a square. And so we'll come over here to pick the image size and we'll call it square. And just squared it off. We'll come down here this way. I'm going to go back to freeform because I want to get rid of the top. Come down here. We don't care about Daniel's watch. We'll come right over here and move over here a little bit on his shoulder thingy. Yeah, since he's got this. Yeah, we're interested in the. There we go. There, that's good. We got a little bag over by his ear. Maybe we should clean that up, huh? What do you think? I'll take care of the salt and pepper. What the heck? We're going to go back. Because it took off part of his arm. We're going to come over here, though, and get rid of this bag, hopefully. Bag's gone. Oops, so is part of his head. Yeah, we're going to have to be a little more precise with this one. It'll come right. Yeah, oh, I can see that could be difficulty. Yeah, we'll just leave bag. Because we lose part of his eyeball. Or something. Yeah, we'll just leave that alone. Alright. We'll come over here to adjust. We'll do a little, brighten that up a little bit. Little color change. I like that color better, I think. But I think I'd like to contrast it up a little. We need shadows, increase shadow detail a little bit. There we go, so we can see a little more of Marilyn. Brighten up the faces a little bit. There we go, hit the save duplicate. There we go. Alright, so that turned out pretty good.
It's 9:15.
That's that picture, right there. Cropped and enhanced a little bit. Got rid of this partially eaten plate. It's my plate. I handed the waitress my camera, and then I walked up behind Marilyn and Brennan. We'll send that to the 3 of them, if I can figure out how to do that. 11 people, no. Marilyn, Brennan. can't do it that way. Gotta go to the messages first. I'll be done with this in 1 second. Known senders only. Rose. Yeah, that's the one I just worked on right there. There we go. Now we got all 4 of them. Boing. Okay. For some reason or other, I don't know what keeps happening with this. We got to go to display, brightness, text size. It keeps being too big. There we go. Now when I look, now when I look on my list, I can see the little pictures over here on the left in this row of what do you call it? All right. Go back to my files and get rid of that. Happy birthday, Brennan. And here we are. U.S. Constitution. What is it? Article, here it is right here. Article 2. Section 2. Clause 1. See? Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1. We're talking about presidential pardons. Yeah. The president has the right to a pardon. He can pardon. He can't pardon political figures that are being impeached. You can't pardon and impeach if something's going on with an impeachment. This is like case law, because there are a lot of lawsuits that have been subject to this pardoning business. The question currently is with presidential Biden. There's a machine, that provides a signature that's an exact duplicate of your official signature. So you sign electronically, you sign 2 or 3 times, and the computer picks the best one, so to speak, and that's the official auto pen signature. And the machine is like a copy machine that stands from the floor up and up to about waist high. There's a device that'll pull out over your paper document that you're going to have officially signed by the president, although this is a machine, and you stick a pen in the top of the place where there's a pen holder, and then you type in your employee number, and you type in reason code, and that's and the authorization you got from the president, some official stuff. So that, and then you push a start button, and the pen comes out, and it finds a place where the signature is supposed to be on the document. You're supposed to line it up a certain way. There's a light that comes up from underneath the document, so yeah. Now the question is, did the president authorize his signature to be placed on 8,000 different pardon documents that were processed through this machine? And So the question is, in the last 100 days or so, with his reported declining in mental faculties, it's not all the time, but he doesn't run an 18-hour day on the spot like Trump does. So turn epidemic down just a little tiny bit. It's rattling inside my head. There we go. That's better. Yeah. So anyway, so that's why I kind of clipped out this clause, so it's in the official record of my conversations that I have here. There we go. We can. Oh gosh. Do I have to go full screen on this thing? Yeah. So this is Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and the Navy in the United States and the militia when called into actual service of the United States. He may... that's, the Constitution, the next paragraph. The Constitution establishes the President's authority to grant clemency, encompassing not only pardons of individuals, but several other forms of relief from criminal punishment. The power, which has historical roots in early English law, has been recognized by the Supreme Court. In 1886, the case Ex parte Garland, the court referred to the President's authority to pardon as unlimited, except in cases of impeachment. Remember that? Yeah. So now this is a discussion, of Article 2, Section 2, C1.3.1. Yeah. Which is, if I were to highlight it, it's right around in here. There we go. Yeah. So that's the part about pardons, right in that ellipse. Yep. The magic of digital imaging. These are all digital images, and I can diddle with them as I see fit, since it's on my diddle. All right, we got WWDC coming up next week, which we're going to learn all about. It's going to solidify or obliterate rumors about certain products like iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, MacBook Pros. Usually you get a lot of information about MacBook computers, at the WWDC. May not be an official product announcement, but you get to see it. They give you a lot of talk about it, And in September, usually the first week of December is when they have another one of these big conferences by invitation only. 1,000 of their best friends, usually media types, are invited. Engineers, software engineers, product engineers, people like Jimmy get invited into the stage performance, or they get invited to the after events, in which they have like laboratory sessions. But in September, first week in September, that's when they announce the iPhone and the Apple Watch. Whereas WWDC, they talk about MacBook Pro computers and iPad Pro. Yeah. I'm surrounded with iPads, old ones, because I don't have the heart to trade them in. You know, you pay, roughly $1,500 for an iPad, which is albeit a magical device. You look how thin it is. It's like, 6 millimeters thick, maybe 5 millimeters. It's got processing power. I just showed you all these image edits. I mean, the screen is, bombastic, beautiful display. Pencil, I can just do this, and I got all kinds of brightness levels. Just to turn it up that way. There you go. You put it on this magic keyboard, and it's like you see, but it's like a laptop with touchscreen. I mean, it's unbelievable. I use the iPad for just about everything. I don't know if I showed you yesterday. I showed somebody yesterday. Let's go to numbers. And I have, here it is. Here's my rent situation where I live right now at Royal Palm Place. I got my little paragraph I wrote there. That's it. I'm paying $2.44 per square foot per month. And right there, that's the magic number. I live in Delray. That can be $3.40 a square foot a month. My rent from the prior year went up 3.28%. It went up $122 from the prior year. You can see the prior year, 2023, 22, 21, 20. So that is, I duplicated this for this one. I can go back and forth between the two. What's the difference? I added 2025 column in there. This goes 6 rent years. So I added a 7th rent year. Now I have to come back here and square out these formulas because it's looking back to the prior year. And this is it's referring to an incorrect cell. So I have to change that. So I come here and I look and see, all right, what happened with this? So I'm comparing the rent increase. I'm adding the rent increase to that rent to come up with that rent. So when I go here, to get this rent, I have to add, that number plus that number to get that number. Yeah. And it's referring to, let's see, so I have to go to I don't really want to do this now. All right, see the cell reference. This is, so 24 plus what? It's plus that one. Check it. There we go. So I just got rid of that error. So, for a $100 increase, it went from $38.18 to $39.18. All right, that cleared up that one. Now this is supposed to be a total, I think. Let's see that. A total of those three. And so let's go here and see what. This formula, so we're just plus this. There we go. Equals. Did it work? No. Okay. What's that one? Yeah, there shouldn't be that one. Oh, I think that's what the problem is. We're just going to delete this. Nope, can't do that. See, all these totals are missing on this one. All right, I'll work this out. I'll work this out at another time. So when I added that column, all these totals went away. All right, so we'll just collapse this for now. I'll work on that later. Anyway, so I don't have to worry about that until August. We discussed the rent, the lease in August. That's effective in October. August, September, October. So that way, in August, we argue about the lease. So I got about 30 days to, accept whatever the result of our arguing was. It's adversarial. What the heck? They want higher rents. I want lower rents. So that's the way it goes. So I have between now and August, I'll clean up that spreadsheet and get the numbers to total properly. And let's see, so we're going to our picture files right here to give me these. So here, here's sweeping new ICE operation shows how Trump focuses on immigration has reshaped federal law enforcement. One of the things there, the liberals are screaming, why are these guys masked up? I mean, this is what they do, in the military. When they have incurgencies and, they have these mask things on to mask their identity because they're essentially secret federal agents. Or they're helping, this is local police, federal agent, is helping the ICE, this is ICE, Immigration and Naturalization. So you have this federal agency helping this federal agency, bust up on these illegal aliens that are, there was a bunch of the local police knows what's going on in each local city. These guys don't make this stuff up. They get not tips. They're working together. Local police, This is a federal agent locally that's working with an ICE agent, which is national. And these guys are working with local police officers who say, hey, guess what? All the senior people of the cartel that are in the United States are, regionally, are having a cocktail party downstairs in this building, underneath this restaurant. So let's surround the building and storm the party and arrest everybody, and we'll just see who they are. And they did, and they arrested like 50. I'm rounding up. It was 45 or 50 senior cartel members. They got them, they got their hands bound behind them, and the girlfriends are running like rats, and they arrested, like 45 or 50 senior, illegal alien cartel members, in a certain area of the United States. Probably in a blue state, like Illinois or somewhere. I didn't actually, I don't think we actually have an indication of where this photo was leaked. It's an NBC News story. We can actually highlight and do that, and let's look up the story. Yeah, we'll search the web for the story. Let's see what's going on here. Here's the story, NBC News. Touch it right there. Sweeping new ICE operation shows how Trump focuses on immigration. Yeah. Justice Department, they shift into, then they deport these suckers. And, they have... They're only doing about Here's a wider view of this. Yeah, here we go. Immigration court in Phoenix. Okay, on May 21st. So this is a couple weeks ago. So this is Phoenix, Arizona. There we go. We'll just save that photo to my photo thing. And yeah, you got 2,000 Justice Department employees from the FBI, the U.S. Marshals Service, Drug Enforcement Administration, 500 employees from Customs and Border Protection. I mean, they got, every letter of the alphabet. They're all massing up together to round up these, illegals and get them out. And if you remember, months ago, before President Trump got elected, there were like 8,000 or 10,000 a day coming across the border, the southern border. The door was wide open. I don't know what the hell they were processing. What the hell were they doing? They were processing. They're getting their names and numbers and letting them loose. There was no vetting to determine whether any of these guys were dirtbags or not, or wanted for crimes and other, and people. Governments like Venezuela and police agencies and, in Central America and so forth, they opened up their prisons and said, hey, head up the Mexican border and jump, get into the United States if you want to. You got a free pass. Get out of here, because if I see you again, you're in jail forever. And, of course, we deport them back to their country, and they may just be back in their jails instead of ours. That's what's going on. But we're only doing about 1,000 a day. And remember, about 8,000 a day were coming over the border. Sometimes more than that. But on average, it was 6,000 to 8,000. Well, if we're only deporting 1,000, it's going to take, 6 years to get rid of, if they can find everybody, to clean out most of the people that jumped our border. It takes 5. So they have to up it, They got to get up to 2,000 a day in airplanes out of here. Back to, they stage them somewhere, so they have it. They can put them in Guantanamo. It's a big air base, right on, the island of Cuba. They have Guantanamo Bay. Yep, as according to Peter Hegseth, who was there, who was stationed there actually as a military person. So he's familiar with, Guantanamo. I think he spent a couple of years there. Somehow or other, I think it's a couple of years. Well, he says there are 30,000 beds at Guantanamo. So we can ship them down there and then, get all the Venezuelans in one tent. All the different, you just put everybody in different tents depending on their country. Maybe 2 or 3 countries are in one tent. Venezuela, apparently there's a lot of them. So then that takes several tents. It's like a tent village, Guantanamo. Air conditioning for senior officers only. You want to cool off and you're an inmate? Get permission to stand out from your tent and get rained on. Nice way to take a shower. Just stand out there in the rain, it'll cool you down. That's your air conditioner. Yeah. Yes, this is prison camp there, Jackweed. It's a no-frills trip. So they stage them there, and in theory they'd only be there for a couple of days, and then bam, they're deported. It's a free ticket back to your own country. Don't come back. You got to come in the front door. Make application with the State Department in your country. Because you've got your papers, you've got your passport. So you present your passport, to the window, at the U.S. Embassy, and say, I want to eventually become a citizen of the United States. And that's what you do. You make application in the U.S. Embassy in your country. And you present your passport to them, and they take you through the procedures for becoming a U.S. citizen. It takes a few years to get in the front door. But we permit about I'm going to say 1.5 million, 1,500,000, maybe a little, plus or minus 200,000. I don't know what the actual number is. It used to be 1 million, and then it was 1.1 million a year. So I probably heard about that a couple of years ago or read about it. So now it's probably 1.3 million or 1.4 million that come in the front door from a variety of countries all over the planet. And you present your papers to the United States Embassy of your country of origin. Yeah, sorry about that. Got my tongue tied around my Dima Prooper. Yeah. Anyway, so if you deport yourself, you got a shot of coming in the front door. If we deport you, you can forget it. You ain't getting back in here. You broke up federal laws, bam, you're out. You will not be granted any visas. And we will not let you back in the front door. If we had to deport you at our expense, you're out. You can self-deport, and they will actually pay you a few bucks. We'll give you 1,000 or 2, to save us the trouble. Then you just deport yourself. And with the cash we give you, that'll buy your ticket back to home. That's a self-deportation, And then you come around and cycle in through the front door by registering yourself with the U.S. Embassy in your country. But if we deport you, forget it. There ain't no coming back in here through the front door or any door, because we're finishing up that wall, and that big, beautiful wall, a wall of all those rows of that reinforced steel, and then the steel is filled up with 10,000 psi concrete with iron rods in there, so you ain't just gonna hacksaw that sucker. It's hardened steel, so hacksaw wouldn't even work. I saw a couple of those columns cut down, so the Mexican hardware stores, whatever they call them in Mexico, they have metal cutting rotary blades that'll grind, that pipe. Now, if the border wall is properly manned, because there's like a drive street on the U.S. side of that row of steel columns, which we call, the border wall, if you will. And I think we're going to seal up the other 400 miles, and just, that wall just go on and on. There are breaks in the wall, a place where gates can open and people can pass through one way or the other. But for routine traveling between countries, those gates are not the gates you would use. This is strictly for ICE agents that are it's hard to tell with Trump in office what people would do with that gate, those gates in principal cities, border cities, across our entire southern border. I don't have an answer for that, so. The Department of Homeland Security has requested the use of 21,000 National Guard members to provide support for ICE operations. There we go. That's what's going on here with this story. I'm using 2 fingers to pull this over so you can see it with this camera format we have. These articles that are perfectly centered on the iPad are being truncated on the left side, so I'm holding the article open so that you can finish reading it. President Trump's and the American people's mandate to arrest and deport criminal illegal aliens and make America safe. Yeah. That's what's going on there. So what happened here? Jesse Waters made some kind of a insensitive remark about this in Miami Beach on May 31st. Olivia Doon walks the runway at the Sports Illustrated swimsuit runway, and she just slammed herself down into a split right there with this bikini that's barely covering her private parts. So Anyway, that's what's going on with that. The Real Housewives of City, New York, proved that a 54-year-old Sports Illustrated model can take Bethany Frankel, for example, who went viral for showing off her toned figure at Sports Illustrated swimsuit runway May 31st. And is this? So she's the Real Housewives of New York City who slammed her buttocks on the runway in a stringy bikini. Yeah, no, it's Olivia Dunn. Come on, what are we doing? Every viral moment at Miami Beach Swim Week. Olivia Dunn's runway split. Oh, I guess maybe Bethany Frankel designed this polka dot swimsuit thing with a top and a bottom, and they connect together and all that kind of stuff. That's her masterpiece. But Olivia Dunn is the one who slammed her body on the runway. There you go. There's some more interesting. There we go. We got save to photos. There we go. Pretty faces there, huh? The headdresses. Let's do a little crop. We'll do a little one of those print screen where you hold the top button and the side button and you click it, and there you go. I need to get back to photos. There we go. So the nice thing about these photos is you can turn on features so that you can. So here's a flipboard screen, which I did a print screen of. There's a bunch of Russian casualties in the Ukraine reach nearly 1 million. So we can highlight that text. And we can copy it, we can select it, we can just directly look it up right here. And I want to search the web. See if I got that in time. Russia casualties nearly, yeah. So we can click images here, and we can see all the images that have to do with, the Ukrainian. Yeah, look at that picture. The flame coming out of that mortar cannon, which basically lobs almost like big air, like large hand grenades, which is like the mortar shell. And you're near any one of those, and boom, the shockwave will just blow your legs off or whatever. 223 casualties and 43,000 killed. Whew. And yeah, so anyway. Ukraine was said to have close to 70,000 killed and 110,000 wounded. I'm like reading this article here. save that picture. Let's see if I saved it. Oh, if I saved it again, I got two of them. Let's see what the photo album shows. Yeah, I got one of those, and then I got one of those, so we'll delete one of them, yeah. Oh, you can see the missile. This is the mortar fire that's been exploded out of that tube. And that's the flame from the blast of that thing coming out of the tube. And then it lobs this mortar munition. This right here. Yeah. See? I gotta let's play. So we'll get our little pen out and we'll just draw a, hold it. There you go. We'll say done. I drew an arrow coming out of the tube, and it's pointing at the mortar fire, which is right there. If you don't look at the picture carefully, that could be like the top of a tree, but it's not. It's the mortar munition that's blasted out of this portable mortar fire thingy. The guy over on the right, this guy is the one that, there's a pile of those mortar rounds laying around somewhere. He's standing aside. He's got his fingers in his ears. He's got his hands. This is probably a better thing. This just popped. And he really doesn't have his hands on his ears. That's a weird looking ear hole anyway. He's probably trying to get to his ears. Well, he just, he's boing. Yeah, he's going to take a while for him to wake up. Yeah. But you can draw, like a wiggly line. So if I do that pen, if I do it again, let's say, I come over here and just do that again. Just stop. It just makes a fatter line. There we go. Yeah, that's good. We'll leave that like that, yeah. So now, see, if you draw your line and then you just hold it there, and then the software makes the line perfectly straight for you. Because, in your hand drawing, you don't have the ability to be straight. Or, if you want to make a circle around him squatting, there you go, see? Now it comes into like a perfect circle. There you go. And to give equal credit opportunity here, we'll do a circle around him also. Hold it for a second, then we got a circle. So now we got both guys with circles. Yeah, they're holding their ears because of that mortar fire that they're creating. They're doing it. They take one of those things, they put it right in the tube and they let it go. When it hits the bottom, it blasts out of there, it's like an incendiary, So that's a loaded bomb that's being blasted, 200 or 300 yards in front of them on the line, the fighting line. Yeah. We go from hot to cold. That's G number 1044, B neg. His name thing and stuff has been removed from this Velcro, so he doesn't have his name disclosed because that's private. His face is covered. Liberals are saying they're not supposed to wear a face mask. Oh, really? Who the hell are you? Photoshop is raising their fees. So there's a question on whether this writer of this article, which his credit has not been shown here. I've been using Adobe software in one form or another for 25 years. And I will say the same thing. I started learning it at university, edited photos in Photoshop for 5.5 newspapers. 5.5, Photoshop 5.5, sorry, for newspapers. Then used InDesign for magazine layouts when it took over from Quark Express in the heart of many publishing companies. I paid for Adobe software myself as a freelancer with the Creative Cloud subscription whenever he thinks he needs it. So I've used it several times. So we've got our stuff backed up into servers across the country. You know, Apple takes care of that. Yes, severe weather for Boca Raton area, which it's been severe. It's brightening up a little tiny bit now. Strong winds out of the south, and I happen to have my radar scene right here. The blue dot up in the upper middle portion of your screen, sort of middle, there it is, right under the word options. It's right there, yeah. So you can see this. A lot of storm activity just offshore. And there's a lot of weather going up through Pelican Marsh and Bonita Springs and all that. And it looks like Fort Myers is going to get deluged with this moisture coming from the south-southwest. Oop, hit the play button. This is like a 2-hour continuous run up and down here. And we can see with this little arrow it's traveling at 18 miles an hour. So you can track how many miles it is to your destination from the blue dot special here, which is there it is right there. Yep. There it goes. those beasties. Anyway, we got bad weather offshore. And these winds are all over the place. So I think the U.S. Marine Patrol basically told all ships to get out of the area. There's not going to be any recreational boating out there for a few days. You can see the flashes. Every time the scene flashes, that's a serious lightning strike. And we don't know exactly who struck it, but we're going to offer it. All right, sports fans. That's the weather. Florida thunderstorm warnings. All boats ordered to safe harbor. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Oh, yeah, a bunch of stuff about Brad Pitt and the fact that his kids don't want any part of him. They were yanked away from, as a matter of their divorce. Because as soon as they hit 18 years old, they're getting rid of their last name. Moderate rain starting in 5 minutes. This is 30 minutes ago. Yeah. Those are big rolls of, it looks like stainless steel. And, yep. This morning at 12:01 a.m., Wednesday, the U.S. has placed a 50% tariff on steel and aluminum tariffs. Epidemic. Sound instrumental. All right, folks. Say goodnight, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Jimmy Durante used to say. I'm going to give you some Epidemic sound instrumental, and I'm going to stop talking. And I'll see you tomorrow at 9:05 a.m.